everyone, I'm Becky.
I'm Sarah.
And we're doing Bickering. What are we doing?
What are we
doing?
What am I doing with my life?
Don't even start that. Don't even start.
Don't start that mess.
Yes. We are doing Bickering book reviews. And today we are talking about The Speed of Falling Objects by Nancy Richardson Fischer, which I had an ARC of, but I also downloaded off of NetGalley.
I did too. And I felt bad. I don't know why I did that. Because I just read the ARC.
Oh, see, I downloaded the eARC. It's so much easier if I put it on my Kindle. It's just, I can make the font bigger.
I know, but I read faster when it's physical copy.
Everybody's got their own choice. So this book...
No, they don't.
This book is about Dani Danger, that is her real name, Danielle Warren, who is an average high school student in the Pacific Northwest, except when she was very small, she was in an accident and she lost one of her eyes. So she has issues with sounds and people sneaking up on her, but she's also very timid because she's like, what if I lose the other eye? But her dad is Cougar Warren, who is the star of like a huge survivalist TV show. And she's always kind of regarded never being connected with him, and she thinks that if she was braver, he'd want to spend more time with her. So he calls her for her to celebrate her 16th birthday, even though it's her 17th birthday, and invites her to go to the Amazon with him to be on his show, and she gets to be part of the show, and there would be like I just lost his name, Gus Price, who's the biggest GP, the biggest teen star in the world, is going to be on the show with her, and she can be on the show. She fights with her mom and gets to go. Well, when they're flying out, there's some issues, and they fly out a little late, and they get caught in a storm, and their plane crashes in the middle of the Amazon. And the black box doesn't work. They have no telephone connection. So her dad, GP, Gus, Dani, the sound guy, the cameraman, his assistant, and the pilot are all in the Amazon, and they kind of have to figure out how they're going to survive. And people die, and some of it's gory, and some of it's horrifying, but the book is so cool.
It is so good. I love this book.
I was like so sucked into it.
It was like one of those books where I'm like going to work and I'm like, I wish I could just stay home today and finish reading this book.
And like
I need to finish this book.
There's a part like where like during somebody gets hurt and like their bones are sticking out through their skin.
Oh my gosh, it was disgusting.
And like they're like popping things back in.
Yeah.
And they're eating grubs. And like they kill a snake that tried to kill them, so they eat it. And like I'm a vegetarian, almost vegan. Sarah can tell you like I have issues with like everything. Like I'm like, oh, the poor animals. But this I'm like, this is so cool. I want this to be a movie. I want this to be a movie.
It would be an interesting
great movie.
It would.
But I just like Nancy Richardson Fischer wrote If Elephants Could Fly, which was one of my favorite books of last year, and I really wish that it had gotten more fanfare than it did. And it's the same thing with this. Like, it's this incredibly interesting situation, but the character is so real. And, like, as they slowly unravel her backstory and her relationship with her dad and what actually happened to her eye, I was sucked in. I was, like, on the edge of my seat.
Well, and the things that she does are believable. So she very much takes kind of a medical role, like a healer role within the Amazon, right? And she's doing all of these things, and you're like, that's not believable. Like, how can a 17-year-old girl know how to do what she's doing? But then it gets into her backstory, and she loses her eye. So losing an eye comes with surgery. So what do you do when you're recovering from this, but you're learning kind of different things from the hospital that you're in? Her mom's reading her medical case studies. So it is believable in that, like, this unbelievable situation suddenly turns believable just in the way that it's crafted, and you just want to buy in the whole way. The romance element, though, like, I always feel like it's unnecessary.
See, but I liked the relationship, like, of how it was built. It worked
way better in this novel than it did in When Elephants Could Fly.
See, it didn't bother me either, but I mean, yes, it's Inkyard Press now, but it's Harlequin teen, so I'm like, there's gonna be a little bit of a romance. But I like the fact that the romance didn't shut everything else down. Like, the romance was, like, organic, and it was kind of in the background. And, like, Dani was like, okay, well, I'm gonna survive. I like having this guy here with me, but I'm gonna survive. And, like, the aspects of how they survived was believable. Like, what they did to survive, to get to the water, to do these things, felt believable.
Well, the thing is, these would be really great these could potentially be really great children's books too, like tween books.
Yeah.
Like if you're taking out that like the romance element to the extent that she gets to in these different books, it would work really well in the J department, and those readers would fawn all over this. So she could really write both YA, but also.
Well, I think she
children's
used to
books.
write those children's Star Wars books.
Really?
I think I read that. She wrote Star Wars books. I think they were children's books.
But were they formatted like this, where it's like this animal kind of. They're not adventure, but like they're high.
This
interest.
was an adventure book.
I mean, I guess it was an adventure book, but like it's like the animal adventure kind of books.
The other thing I want to say before we rate it, I really liked the depiction of the relationship with the parents and her relationship with the parents and how they impacted each other. That felt very realistic for a child going through divorce.
Yeah.
But should we rate it?
Yeah.
So our rating system starts at the top with 5 unicorns. We go down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
I'm going to go with 5 because
I'm kind of like, I was at a 4, but talking about it, I'm like at a 5.
I didn't want to put it down, and I haven't experienced that in a long time.
And I needed that. Like, I will say, like, at the beginning, I was like, because I loved when elephants could fly so much because of the baby elephant. And so, like, as I was slowly, like, getting into it, and I think, like, it took me a little bit longer to get into it because of that, because I was kind of like, well, this isn't the baby elephant. But,
this one has bugs and snakes.
It's true. But, you know, I think I'd stick it with a 5, because it's, like, at least a 4.5, and I think I feel comfortable bumping it up.
Yeah, it's really good.
So that is where we are on the speed of falling objects. You should read it.
Read it.
And we'll see you around.
All right, see ya.
Bye.